you shoot a proposal on during the service, it's something special, right? Usually when people proposing, they're getting nervous and excited and feel thrill at the same time. The same energy happens when I shoot my adult photography, erotic photo shoots. People also feel excited because they kind of don't know the reaction. They don't know the reaction how I, a photographer, will react and how they will react during the photo shoot. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that this is very interesting energy when people are trying to book a photo shoot and memorize it. Okay, and this is what I'm going to discuss right now. So it's not a standard photo shoot for couples, right? There is a special event behind it. Proposing, it's a love story situation, right? And usually when photographers work with couples who are proposing, they create a certain layout. They even plan this, okay? So for me personally, if and I am erotic studio, right? And I am creating adult content only, of course there will be something very special, right? During that proposal ceremony. We can think many ways how to do it. Okay, people can undress and propose. People can propose when they're wearing underwear. Okay, people can, wear some kind of a sexy, kinky outfit. Okay, there are many ways people can find this proposal situation between the toys and whatever they can imagine, right? So there are many ways how to do it. The standard session would be probably somewhere in a park or on the bridge, or near the river or somewhere beautiful, right? And this is a standard situation, right? But when it comes to my services, yeah, I don't do standard sessions. I kind of do the first 10, 15 minutes, a safe shot, standard shots, because people expect to have a portrait, right? The portrait, the memory for themselves. Yeah, so that's what I cover. But when people are writing me and saying that I'm going to propose this during erotic photo shoot, so there could be many ways how to do it. Okay, they can have an erotic photo shoot and have a climax together, and then he would propose it, right? That's also an amazing scenario. So for me personally, it's to create something special, to create something unique, to create something that no one done before. That's what I'm excited about. Okay. And when a couple's contacting me and want to shoot at my studio, sometimes they want very classic and standard things, right? But most of the time they not. They want to go beyond the classical boudoir portrait, right? Beyond a certain story which is safe, right? To show more, to dig deeper with their fantasy, okay? To explore more. That's what's happening in the studio when people launch into erotic creative energy. And it's not that even what happens, you see, usually a couple don't know what will happen. That's why they're getting nervous. Okay, that's why people are worried. What will happen when we will undress? Okay, what will happen when two bodies collide? Okay, what will happen when we start touching or playing with each other? No one knows. Okay, even I don't know what will happen. But because I have 20 years experience in adult business, I can tell you, I'm very much relaxed. I never had a successful shoot, ever. Okay, because sexual energy is taking over. Always. This is something what we cannot control. If you put into a certain point, people are relaxed and going towards stimulation and arousal. And to create make love scenarios usually takes two. Takes two, not one person, right? That's why two photo shoots are different. Yeah, couple and solo shoots. They are two different shoots when it comes to sexual energy, when it comes to erotica. Because for two people it's much easier. And that's why I offering a service with the models. Because when there is a single person, he is too much stuck in his loneliness, in his solo energy, in his eros, right? And when you invite someone else, like, ladies would invite guys most of the time, sometimes ladies. Guys would invite ladies most of the time, but sometimes guys, right? So when they meet, and when there is a chemistry, and when there is a certain point when you're planning a shoot, people have to undress, come closer, touch each other, right? Slowly maybe remove certain things, okay? And just you see this chemistry comes when you are, in a very close contact, skin to skin, when you're hugging each other, right? When you're kissing, and it escalates. But it is very important to remember that sexual energy is there when you are not scared, when you are not in pain, when you are not in a worry, okay, when you are not in a negative vibration, okay, that's when it comes to you, and that's when it's expands and explodes, okay. And when I'm saying explodes, that means that the photo shoot reached a certain peak, and the quality of the shots depending on that moment, okay. Because when people previewing the session, right, at the start they may be awkward, they may be stiff, they don't know what to do, and they're holding back, okay. And that's what I am shooting. I am shooting a frozen, doubting, concerned, and maybe overthinking personality. But when it comes to erotic photography, the best shots happens when they lose themselves, when they forgot where they are. Yeah, but the best pictures erotic happens when they do not see photographer, okay? They're not posing, because when you are posing, sometimes I say, look at the camera, okay, just to remember that and ground that moment. But most of the time, people are, making love with their eyes closed, so they don't see it, right? They don't see it. They have to go into that moment to feel it and to make it great. Otherwise, it's not possible. You are in control all the time, okay? And when couples come to shoot photography, they know that we have cameras. We can do selfies, right? Just to point camera, and this is a great selfie. Some people are great with doing selfies, but when it comes to creating photography, you need someone else to make those shots that you're not able to make by yourself. That's simple as that. Okay? And the same applies to the videos. There are couples, when they celebrating special events or when they want just a hot and sexy adventure, they are booking not only photography, they want to try videos. And adult videos is the same situation. You can put a tripod, and you can put your camera, right? But what the videographer would do, he would zoom in and zoom out, okay? And then he would come to a different angles everywhere, come really close to the to that point of intimacy where you are not able to shoot it when you are in the highest vibration, in your climax, in your orgasm. You are not able to, to look, is it focused or not? Because you have to be, somewhere else. Tune into that body and make love to that person who you with, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife or husband, right? That's how it is. So that's why people are looking to find certain adventures in people that they can trust and that they can create erotic adventures with. That's how it goes. Okay. So today's question was about a couple who would like to create a special anniversary event, and it's a celebration towards their proposing, okay. And that's, like I say, it's very exciting, okay, because people not choosing a standard situation, being in a restaurant, right, or being, in a beautiful nature, for example, right. They choosing to create something sexy and memorable forever. Like, if they would do this, you know these memories, they will not be erased very easily. They will stay a long time. Okay, so today I'm talking about photo shoots, and I am reading out the questions, and there are different kind of questions. Most of the questions are coming from couples and men, and there are some who come from ladies as well, of course, right? Ladies. So let me just read out another question. I hope this email finds you well. I was making an inquiry about a solo photo shoot, me masturbating, so I can send them to my partner. Is it something that is it something that can be done? Thanks in advance. Looking at the email, I can see that this is a guy. Okay, that this is a guy who sent this information, right? And so he is most likely will send it to his girlfriend, but maybe to his boyfriend. Okay, today's world we live in, right? So, but the thing is that you see, create a quality content that it looks really appetizing and really sexy. You would need a special lighting, and you would need a person who would do this for you again. Okay, that's why when people create dating photography, right, the profiles who have great pictures, they work best. Yeah, but dating photography, it's a specific topic, right? But I include, you see, I include this type of photo shoots because I believe that dating photography in our age moved on so far that at the beginning, at the first stage, you just present yourself, how you look, and in general express your sexuality when you dress. But there is a next stage of a dating when there is a underwear, right? And when there is some kind of a intimate connection with a person, right? And not every time everything happens in real, face to face, one to one in life. Very often dating happens online, over the phone, right? And you exchange information about yourself, how you look. First you meet on the app, and that's one way, right? You present yourself with a certain information. There's adult apps where you can have a nudity or semi-nude pictures taken, but most of the normal apps, they do not include any nudity, right? So you have to just be you, and you just have to present yourself. And these sexual markers, they still convey that information, right? I'm not dressed here, okay? But if I'm active and interested, right, in sexual energy, it just shows. And it attracts to certain people. It captures the attention. You don't have to stand on your head to capture attention, right? Just have to be in a certain energy and create certain content for for dating. It's not about eating a burger, it's not about drinking a pint, it's not about standing on a cliff, it's not about driving your fast car, it's not about cuddling your dog. Okay, when people are meeting you, the first thing what they're looking is they thinking about mating, and they're looking for that attraction that physically would be connected to them, not to your dog or not to your car or not to your watch. But there are other, arrangements as well in the dating. We know that there are business arrangements, right? So I'm excited that while I'm talking about this because, business arrangement, it's another thing, right? People, they're not looking at you. People looking at your bank account. That's a different information. Sometimes you just need a screenshot of the bank account and then you have a lot of dates, okay? But when coming back to this request about photo shoot, when you want to show who you are and intimately, sexually show certain information about yourself, of course, going to professional, it will look differently. Okay, it will be presented in a way that it will be appealing, it will be sexy, it will be interesting, exciting, right? If intimately you exciting the person, most likely we will have this adventure. Okay, most likely, seriously, if physically there is an attraction, Most likely it will happen. So when I create dating photography, I don't just do dating portraits. I actually undress people because I explain them that at the later stage, okay, you will be exchanging this information and you would need that content. So take your clothes off right now, right? To cover this. Because dating consists of three stages. First, you're just meeting the person. Second, the stage you have to know each other. To know each other, not only talking now, we exchange an information. I'll just hang this. We exchange the information, and that is verbal information. It is also a visual information, right? And visual information is photography or videos. And if you have a certain basin there and you already prepared and have great pictures and great visuals, I can tell you they will want you. There is no other way. Okay, they will be interested. That's something what will attract, unless you are lying. Okay, so that's another thing. People are very much trying to be someone else, okay, or better than they are. Okay, and that's it. So if there will be any, okay, we just finished that. So if there will be any, situation when there is mistrust or something, then you would lose that connection, right? So that's what I'm saying, that it is best to have it, to a professional level if you want a very fast reaction. Okay. Yes, with your photography, you can get the best shots that the girls will pay attention to and understand that you are serious. Okay, that works. That works. It's been checked many times. I'm not just making this up, right? But there are people who would go to the business photo shoot, okay, and they're wearing a suit and stuff, and this is a business marketing maybe situation, and they put those pictures, right? They don't, not really, they work, but not really, not really for me personally. I always pay attention to these pictures because I look around and I see how people are dating and what kind of a photography or videos they're using, right? They are, and we know what is the trends now, that the less you wear, they think the better it gets, but that's not true. Okay, because when it comes to sexual energy, you don't have to undress, to be fair, to show it and to marker yourself in the way, right? But there are some features maybe very special and you want to show and attract straight away. So talking about playing with yourself during the photo shoot, and that's the guy's request. This is possible, of course it's possible, right? That's what the adult photography is about, right? And my studio creates no limit photo shoots. Not only that you can undress, not only that you can have explicit shots, right? How you can have an erection shot without playing with yourself, right? You see, that would be like very much stage. I mean, men can have erection straight away, but there are many ways, how you shoot it, right? There is many ways, so you have to touch yourself anyway. I don't know any other way, okay, how to do it, right? So that's the thing. So I hope I covered this topic, okay? But I'm saying that usually photo shoots for men start from portraits and then they undress, from the head down, right? But it can be a photo shoot that, people just want to be naked and they want to play with themselves and just want naked pictures, explicit pictures, maybe they're exhibitionist in their heart, okay? And they don't want any clothes on, okay? They want to just flash, flash on. That's fine, that's an option. So this is all have to be agreed in advance, okay? In detail, not just booking a photo shoot, but booking this photo shoot in detail, including all these specific moments, right? When it comes to another message is, hi Julia, we're interested in a BBC cocktail photo shoot and we are wondering a few things. How hung are your models typically? Would we be able to select someone who is the bigger one? During the photo shoot, we would like my partner locked in his little cock cage. Would you would you during the photo shoot be able to laugh and make fun of his size to help further the mood and experience? And we would like to have scenes of me comparing him to the model as well. Okay, that's a very typical question as well. Okay, this is something what I would like to notice on this question is this: would I be able to make any kind of expressions or comments towards the clients in the way that they asked? The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no, because that does not include a photographer's jobs profession, right? So this is a fetish BDCM kind of a shoot, right, with humiliation, and this content shot in a certain way, right? I'm very neutral to shooting any kind of photography which it comes for adult fantasy, right? Adults have different kind of fantasies. They have imagination. That's why they are adults in vibrating in sexual energy, right? If there will be no imagination, okay, there will be just animals doing things, right? Animals, they don't have imagination. They're just doing this, it's a calling. And there are couples and adults who vibrate in this energy without imagination, you know this, right? So in this specific topic question, there is an imagination there, that is great, but what they're asking is an extra service to have for free. Okay, so usually there is a dominatrix who will provide this service. Okay, and this is mistress job. Mistress' job to humiliate and laugh at him and point out and compare and do all sorts of kind of things. Okay, and what they're asking me to provide an extra service for free. And that's a very, very often scenario when couples or individuals think that in an adult business, in their fantasy, I have to participate for free. And on top of that, arrange the shoot, hire the model, set up the studio, make sure that they dressed accordingly, they're ready for a shoot, put on the consultation, set up the lightings, okay, prepare the cameras for photography, prepare the cameras for videos, pose them, direct them, and instruct them. And on the top of that, I should be a mistress who is involved in their fantasy. That's a very good question, and I am explaining how it works. Okay, people are assuming that I will provide some kind of an extra service and participate in their fantasy for free. Just in addition, because I'm doing erotic photography, I will be willing to participate. You know, that is why I'm hiring models, and they are paying if they would want a certain service to be achieved, right? Because they cannot achieve this with someone's help. So they think they will put this job on me on top of what I'm already doing in my studio. Okay, and I'll just put my cameras down or will be filming at the same time and thinking creatively and in terms of the light, shadows, and polarization, all kind of stuff, right? Reflections. And then I will be, working on their fantasy, right? That's not the case. I mean, this is a very how to say, a simple example. What when it comes to erotic photo shoots, there are people who think that you can provide adult services on top of the photography and video and post-production and other studios things. That's what it's, that very good question. Very good question. The answer is no. Unless they want me to be two people, okay? Dominatrix costs a certain amount of money. If they don't want to see dominatrix, then, they have to offer dominatrix fee, who will be me at the part of the shoot, right? An extra fee to do certain things. Seriously, there is no other way. There are two options in here, right? And usually I don't take, part. I just don't take. I'm not interested. This is their fantasy. I have my fantasies to achieve, right? So I'm not getting involved in anyone's, fantasy, in anyone's business, what they're doing. But I'm very happy, okay, to prepare this for them, arrange this for them, okay, make it happen, right? And the people being honest, right? And people being truthful. They're asking me a certain favor, okay? Favor, right? Great. I can put this way, right? I'm gonna do a dominatrix, but I'm not gonna do 3 or 5 days of post production. If they agree this way, then it's a fair trade. you know? It's as simple as that, okay? There has to be something in return, okay? There has to be balance, and at every service, you can just ask, these things. This is adult service, right? And people know that. People know that, especially men, when they're assuming that the photographer can somehow help them to stimulate them, right? Or prepare them or calm their nerves down or do something to help their erection or, so there are models for this, right? If people know, especially guys know how they feel about it. If they're scared, if they're not able, they should hire a model to help them. Then they will have a successful shoot, very successful shoot, and a fun time. Okay, and fun time. So that's a great question. I had a lot of, oh my gosh, I had a lot of fun answering this one. And I forgot to answer about the sizes. Yes, so the big concern was about model sizes. When it comes to shooting corporate fantasy, all the models I have are a big or a huge size. Okay, I have specific collection of models who are going to shoot this fantasy, who are ready, who are willing to participate. There is just two types of models. There is one type that they do not want the husband be there in the studio, and the other are okay to join, okay, and participate, together. So that's how it is, right? So that's the thing about this question. Let me quickly say hi, hello. I'm answering questions about adult photography, and we're discussing today fantasies, and I'm replying to questions what people are leaving me, what kind of the photo shoots they would like to create at my studio. And we started with a very classic and very interesting request for anniversary, right? Especially when for couple. And I've just discussed it, the other special event for a couple when they're thinking about hiring a model, right? Hiring a model. And that's a fetish situation they want to create because the model will be there to humiliate the husband. Okay, that's kind of a situation which is quite popular in adult world, right? People just being sometimes shy to talk about this. Okay, and I'm saying hi, hello, very quickly. Okay, and I'm checking what you're asking me. If you have any questions today, otherwise, I like your hearts. Okay, I see some questions coming in. Okay, let me just quickly say hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. No te entiendo. That's Spanish. Hey, beautiful. Okay, let me just find this. Yes, this question is about adult photography and Q&A. Q&A, that's correct. Good morning. I don't want nothing from you. I'm just speaking. You should go on your channel, okay, and speak there, okay, because here I am speaking, so don't get confused. Right. Okay, there, what is this? Beautiful, please, sexy, have a nice day. Perfection. Okay, will Daniela, and I reckon will Daniela, who's Daniela? Okay, daily reminder, you are important. Much in this world, never give up. Never give up. Not me. Okay, I'm blessing the life of the first 5 people. First five people, can I come in you? Okay, that's an interesting question. Questions have to be related to photoshoot, okay, and adult fantasies. And you expressing your fantasy, which is not really related to photoshoots, okay, but that's okay. Check you can in me. What is this? Okay, behold, for I am the lean, what you are lean, lean. I've seen you twice tonight. Okay, adult photography questions. Yes, that's correct. Okay, keep on rocking in free world. Nothing is free in this world, okay? Hola, hermosa. Okay, just like seeing her eyes. Okay, good morning. All right, great. I think you're chatting there with the other guys, so that's fine. Let me just crack on with the questions. I have 10 more minutes. Oh, Johnny and I mean to be together. Are Johnny and I meant to be together? Johnny and I are meant to be together. You know, this is maybe more related to tarot. Yeah, tarot card. Someone who is looking at the future. But in reality, if you have a question, you and Johnny are still meant to be together. I can tell you this way. Adults know, okay? Adults know. But adults and children vibration always doubt. And they don't know this. If you don't know this, most likely not. If you're an adult, okay? And if you're in child vibration, in general, the doubt in human mind appears in that moment when children have to choose between mother and father, okay? And that's the split happens there. And somehow we've been raised in this way that we have to choose, okay? So then adults continue their life in a certain undecisive, undecisive energy, right? And if you're asking this and you do not know, usually adults know. There is always a conscious mind in there, okay, who always knows everything, okay? Subconsciously, you may be aware, but you just there is this way. We are knowing this, but if our answer is not matching with the truth, we are denying and living in denial, right? That's another option. So it is up to you to understand in what energy you live. Okay, it's very easy to establish this assumption. If your relationship is great, if your health is great, and if your money situation is great, you are in an adult vibration. Okay, children don't have relationship, right? Children don't have money because there is someone else responsible, right? And that's why adults very often vibrate in children's energy because that's how we grow out, grow into and then we grow out of it. And what happens with adults believe they get into kind of a stressful situation, so traumatic experiences, different kind of memories can bring this back, and then they flip back and they worry, right? So you check for yourself. Is it meant to be or not for you and Johnny? I'm dating Johnny. You are meant to be together. Wow, you are beautiful. Okay, Johnny, you seem very knowledgeable. Thank you. You would know much more if you ask right questions. Okay, because someone is just absolutely concerned with the Johnny, and Johnny is taking the whole, focus, right? And there is nothing else here, right? Have you gently tell the client that they have some work to do. You see, I would like to learn to be gentle. Okay, usually psychologists are very good at working with people who learn psychotherapy. Okay, they're very good because they dealing with children's energy. They coming there scared, they coming there shy, they coming there embarrassed, they coming there disappointed, they coming there with blame, with guilt, they coming there pointing fingers at the other. This is all child's energy. Okay, if you remember yourself, have you been in the nursery? oh my, look at this one done this and this one done this. Is, this is a certain behavior. Okay, adults when they grow up, they look into themselves. Okay, and erotic photography and sexual photography, it's converted into you, right? You are seeing yourself with a different kind of expressions, layers, and you're working with your egos and alter egos, right? It's about you. So I'm mostly speaking about photography, adult photography, and erotic fantasies. And erotic fantasies, it's a repair of your childhood traumas, you know. And just recently, I spoke about a photo shoot, which is a cocktail fantasy shoot where a husband is ready to share his wife with another guy. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm neutral, but there was somewhere in his life a moment when he was not in a control, when he wanted something, someone most likely really fancied the girl, and she was with another guy, and he couldn't do anything about it. And that memory is stuck. So now he's in a control, and he can, organize, arrange this, and make this happen or not happen, and so on. So that's what erotic fantasy do. It fixes you, okay? And people should not be scared of these expressions, because you see erotic fantasy comes in a different ways and colors, right? Some are very violent, some, like I say, fetish BDSM experience. Sometimes we beat people so much that it's not a photo shoot anymore, it's a torture, and that's what they want. Okay. That's what they want. It's not a humiliation, it's a serious situations here, right? So it's a different kind of adventures. Okay. The physique, would you ever tell a client that? I'm very honest with my clients, okay, very direct, and kind of how to say, I am not that person who would try to make it soft. I am the one who initiates certain reaction. And you can initiate certain reaction, challenge the person only with truth. Truth about him, what I think, you know. Then they would consider this, try something else, and, you know, re-edit the things, right? So I am straightforward, unfortunately. But when you go to therapy or you go to see therapists, they're being very, very nice there. And I'm listening to therapeutic podcasts, okay? How they are, seriously dealing there. I'm listening to this. So, yeah. You are absolutely lovely. Thank you. No way, that's real. That's very real. Sounds like a lot of work. Yes, yes. I mean, I am doing something what I really love. Okay, the photo shoots and the creative experience is very exciting. Okay, because it's creative. This is something what I want to do. The only thing what it's a lot of work, it's a post production. Yeah, that's where it is a lot of work, okay? Because you're making art. If you're making same pictures every day in the same way, in the same format, in the same background, then it will be just printing and making, like the same thing all the time. It will be much easier. But I intend to complicate my life and make it much harder, right? Very exciting and very interesting. Thank you. Kind of interested, wish I could see that goes on in your photo shoots. They sound wild. They are. Yeah, there are. So there are a lot of questions coming about my membership. Okay, I had a membership online on my website, but because there is a lot of nudity in there involved, all the payments were terminated, and I'm moving my gallery to private Telegram channel. Okay, and that would be the platform where we actually can connect and communicate. Because when I present an artwork, nude photography, boudoir photography, explicit photography, adult fantasies, right? I do not see any of your reaction, and I do not see what you're saying, or thinking, and that's something what is missing in general, in a new factor now. We are living in the world when we can be expressive and we can collaborate, communicate, right? And so that's something that would change on Telegram. Well, I'm so new on Telegram, and it's not like a website, and it's not straightforward, okay, to create it. So I'm taking my time, right? But yes, you can see. Of course, you can see, right? Okay, where are you at? I am in London. Okay, in London, in Richmond. Okay, that's where I am. New York, yeah. New York, I never been in New York. Okay, maybe one day I'll come and visit. Good morning, my stunning and beautiful goddess. Models, where it was here. Interesting. Can you post the Telegram link? Yes, I can. I will make today a post on my account with Telegram link. It was somewhere in the previous this. Yes, I can. Love Warriors. And that's how I call my channel, Love Warriors, Eros channel. Right, greetings with. It was a question about models or something, but it just disappeared. I've seen this question. I'm not able to see all the questions because it's going. Greetings with love and respect. Beautiful day. Take care. Okay. But what if someone takes it too far and trying to blackmail someone there? That's a very good question. Okay. So usually when you take, when I take a photo shoot, these are couples, right? Couples. If the couple will blackmail, they don't need my photo shoot, okay? They don't need it, okay? They already had this intensive intention. So that's why I'm choosing people who vibrate in a positive sexual love energy, okay? Most likely they stay this way or even get stronger. That's why they're doing it, okay? Not to blackmail anyone, right? Then there are individuals who want to date or who want to explore their intimate side, become more confident, boost their personality, right? That's why they're doing it. They're creating content for themselves, right? So there is no like blackmailing, okay? It's just in your fantasy, right? You have some kind of a negative understanding about someone is blackmailing someone, okay? Even you understand that now we're living in this world that no one cares very much, but no one will be surprised, how her coochie looks like or something. No, it's just different, right? Before, blackmailing was maybe, how to say, something, and some celebrities, become popular this way. Okay, maybe, if you are married, okay, and then you did a photo shoot, and you are infidelity, right, and there will be then blackmailing situation. So, it's again not photographer's responsibility, no. That's the thing, right? So I'm creating art here. And usually when people create art, they vibrate in a different energy. They're not doing it to blackmail anyone. Okay? They are just living a different life. Okay? And they're expanding their own capacity, capability. They are looking for extra resources, okay, because sexual energy provides different mood, different feel about yourself. You act differently. You're more attentive. You're more vibrant as a person, right? Because there are people who are not dead in the relationship, and there are people who are alive, and there are two different couples, you know and what defines those couples is that one actually excellent in sexual energy, in erotica. And it doesn't mean that they're naked all the time, right? or banging each other all the time. No, erotica is in the way they speak, is in the way they look, is in the way they move, is in the way they approach, right? That's where erotica, okay? That's what that is, okay? And that's something what we are doing here. We're developing those skills. We're looking at ourselves, how we can be more sexually active, attractive, and present our markers that are there, okay, for you to use it. It is Sexuality is your energy resource. Okay, and there are people who are using it, right? And you know that it reflects financially. When people are using their sexual energy, it reflects financially and it reflects in their relationship, it reflects in their health, the way they look, the way they feel, right? They have more energy to do stuff, okay? Because they vibrate with this interest for life, aliveness, right? And of course, the financial situation is totally different. Yeah, because sexual energy is the same energy. Okay. So that's how it is. Okay. Thank you so much for today. It was nice chatting with you, and I just covered few questions about erotic photo shoots. I will post, like I said, a reel today. And I will add this Telegram link, I promise, so that you can go back and check on my account. And yes, I will be talking just about adult photography, adult art, adult fantasies, and of course, what's happening behind the scenes and what people are asking, what people want for their adult life. Okay, what they want to explore, experiment with. That's what is my topic about. That's my jam. Yes. Love you, kiss you, mean it, and thank you so much for being here. Bye. Bye. Bye.